All right. Hi, everyone. I'm a journalist for Mustang News, covering news relevant to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo students. Today, we're here to discuss an eating disorder not commonly known, yet emerging in college campuses. This eating disorder is known as orthorexia, and today I am here with an expert to introduce and inform the public.
Hi, my name is Kylie. I am a public health specialist working closely with San Luis Obispo to bring you and Cal Poly information on orthorexia.
Thanks for being here, Kylie. So, my first question for you is, what is orthorexia?
And that's a great question. Orthorexia is actually known as orthorexia nervosa, which is an eating disorder that is characterized by an obsession with healthy living. This can be seen through strict diet, over exercising, or anything that is maximizing someone's health to a disordered extent.
And what sparked your involvement and interest in educating college students on orthorexia?
Yeah, so the relationship between orthorexia and college students is quite interesting. There is an evident positive correlation between the impacts of social media and developing orthorexia, specifically with Instagram, because as we know, there is younger populations more commonly using social media apps like Instagram. So it's interesting that this specific group of individuals may have vulnerabilities to this type of eating disorder, especially at Cal Poly.
Yeah, and I think this is really important as we see younger ages emerging and using these social media platforms and how they influence their daily lives and their decisions. This being said, what is one of the biggest influences or steps in developing this disorder?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few different ways that people can develop orthorexia. And it's important to note that orthorexia is one of many different types of eating disorders. However, for specifically orthorexia, college students is one of the most common populations. Obviously, social media has been a large topic of conversation in the past, and people have been realizing the impact that it can have on body image and beauty standards. There is an unrealistic standard being set, and people may try to take unhealthy steps to reach certain body type or image goals. After chasing the goals for an extended period of time, it becomes very easy to develop an obsession for maintaining an unrealistic and unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah, and I can see how this can be very prevalent in college students as definitely a big change in environments for students, and I can see how this can have a big effect on how they may make their lifestyle choices. Why do you think this eating disorder is seen to be such a big issue in college students specifically?
Yeah, so young people have always been at a higher risk for developing eating disorders, especially those in the 14 to 25 age range, which does fall in the undergraduate category. During college, students are facing complete independence for the first time in their lives and make all final decisions regarding their diet, sometimes for the first time as well. Specifically in San Luis Obispo, the student culture largely promotes healthy living, including both diet and exercise. Therefore, we must make sure that students are aware what healthy eating looks like and what obsessive healthy eating looks like to protect their health and well-being, as well as being aware of their friends or peers starting to adopt unhealthy choices, obsessive of healthy eating.
Yeah, and I remember seeing this when I first came to SLO, and I saw all of these students and these lifestyles, even just with residents in SLO, how much they pride themselves in their healthy lifestyles, whether it's hiking or just being out and active. So I can definitely see how this plays a part.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. And you also notice a lower BMI in San Luis Obispo. In contrast to the surrounding counties, San Luis Obispo has a much lower BMI, which also speaks to the culture at Cal Poly and San Luis Obispo. So.
you. Why are you focusing on this topic and making a website combating healthy eating when the disorder isn't even in the DSM-5, especially when obesity and unhealthy eating habits are a growing concern in this country?
Yeah, that's a great question. So even though the disorder is not yet listed in the DSM, there is evidence that it has negative effects when healthy eating is taken too far. And it's also important to note that the DSM is the official book for disorders, but is not always correct and changes quite often. Actually, until 1973, being a homosexual was considered a mental health issue. But that year it was also removed in December. That year it was also removed. While we recognize the problem our country faces with obesity, however, too much of anything, even healthy eating, can have negative impacts, like obesity.
Yeah, and what steps can universities take to decrease the prevalence of eating disorders on campus? What would you like to kind of see on campus be in place?
Yeah, so mainly awareness, being aware of your own eating patterns and also aware of your surroundings and people's choices nearby can affect how you see and view diet and culture and fitness. Um, Previous literature has shown that eating disorder interventions have been potential in reducing the prevalence of eating disorders. And in addition, finding those precursors with awareness to developing an eating disorder could produce lower rates of an eating disorder behavior on campus. Precursors to developing any sort of eating disorder, like orthorexia, could include combating ideas such as dieting, body dissatisfaction, and drive for thinness. So, just combating those ideas and bringing awareness to the campus and campus culture could be a really important step to decrease the prevalence of eating disorders on campus.
Yeah, and I think awareness is a big one, especially when talking about orthorexia and how new it is to the public. So I think definitely awareness would be such a big factor and contribute to lower rates in orthorexia and eating disorders on college campuses.
Yeah.
I think students struggling, or how can students struggling find and receive the help they need in recovery?
Yeah, so there are a few options open to students trying to find some help for recovery. One of which would be help from Cal Poly's Health and Wellbeing and Nutrition Center. They have nutrition services and their eating disorder outpatient counseling services there to offer students and connect them with more resources. In addition to that, to consider eating disorder treatment agencies in the San Luis Obispo area would also be another option for someone struggling and desiring recovery. Lastly, the Center for Health and Wellbeing can also help students locate all of these resources within SLO County and also outside of SLO County.
All right, well, thank you for these resources and thank you for being here today. I hope everyone learned something new and how to help those around them if they do see any of these signs. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.